Hi everyone, my name is Yesenia Montes and I am here with one of my coworkers. His name is Tony and he will be the person that I will be interviewing today. So Tony, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing this interview with me today. It means a lot to me. But yeah, let's get started. So with COVID, how did that affect you?
Well, the loss of jobs, income, and health reasons. Scared to go places, isolation, not be able to take care of my family because of the situation of just going outside just going from store to store, and the panicking of people who start buying up everything. The value of stuff went up. Scared of what's behind the next door, basically. The politics of it too. Everybody said that this pill or that pill works, and I wasn't sure what it was. I was really worried that if I didn't get all the vaccinations and shots, that I would die. Especially being an older man in my early 60s, I got to the point where I was worried that I wasn't gonna make it. Cause I seen so many people die on the East Coast and also this West Coast. And what they were doing with the bodies and things of people dying. Watching the news was scary. It was scary just to turn the TV on and watch the news. Don't know what's going to happen next, and if anybody had an answer for this situation. Being in limbo, basically, of not knowing the next thing and the consequences of, what was going to happen next.
Okay. So when you said you lost your job, how did that make you feel when you lost your job?
Well, it scared
me.
Like
when did you find out?
They had, because I work in the casino business, people had stopped coming. So they started off just reducing the staff, and then finally they said to me that they told me that we was good for a couple more months. Then finally one day it says no, it ends next week. It wasn't planned. I wasn't prepared for it. So then I had to find other ways to provide for myself and my family. So it really was a shocker, the way they did it. If they did it another way, which if I don't know other way it would be, but if it had been another way of letting the person know ahead of time, prepare that we're going to let you go, it's going to stop. It was scary.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell me how it affected you financially?
Well, when you're working for a well-known casino, which I'm not going to name, and you're making from $18 to $19 an hour, and then you're down to basically nothing. Like I said, I am going on Social Security early because I didn't want to, but I had to survive because I didn't know what was going to happen. So at 62, I decided to collect my Social Security because I didn't know what the next thing was going to happen. So financially, it was scary.
Did you feel like you were forced to collect that Social Security?
Yes, I was.
Because of the pandemic?
Right, because the bills had to get paid. And there was no way to pay the bills unless I had to find some kind of income. And they wasn't hiring, and they were locking the doors and leaving early, and nobody was even ready to come outside. Mm-hmm. I'm in the field of cooking in restaurants, and they all closed up because of health reasons. Sanitation, wash your hands, and stay 6 feet back, and sew the lines and stuff. So it was scary.
So can you say that COVID-19 really, really did affect you, greatly?
Yes, very much so. It made you appreciate life and each other, because one thing it did do, it brought everybody together on the same page. So we was all fighting the same situation. It wasn't a color situation, it wasn't black or white. Everybody was fighting the same entity of questioning what was on the left. So it did bring society together on the same page.
Okay, Tony, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a 64-year-old black man in society trying to survive on my own with disabilities, being a diabetic and high blood pressure. I have to figure out what to eat every day. So sometimes it can be a struggle, but if my spiritual faith keeps me going, the belief into a power that's greater than me that keeps me going. Other than that, life would be shaky.
So during the pandemic, how did you find yourself? Was it mentally exhausting, and how did you feel during the whole thing?
Scared. But also, I had to keep praying that everything was going to work out the way it's supposed to work. And I had to trust and believe that they had the society and the politics had my well being in mind. So yeah, depending on someone else, it was scary. It was very uncomfortable to say that.
So what were some of the few things that you did during isolation to kind of like help you get through it?
Well, I'm part of a program of recovering addicts. So I did a lot of meetings and a lot of church spiritual things to stay prayed up and keep my spiritual concept going, and staying out the way. Basically, I didn't want to isolate too much, but I did try to take care of myself physically and emotionally and spiritually too.
Yeah. All right, Tony. So, if you didn't have those programs, how do you feel like you would have gotten through COVID? Like if you didn't have those?
I think I would probably stayed home, locked myself in the house, and been scared to even go out. It would have been worse without having a support group to lean on. It really would have been scarier, been worse. But because I had a support group and I could go to people who were going through the same thing I was going through and talk about it, that made it a lot easier.
So can you explain to me how hard it was for you not to see your family? Because we were all in isolation.
It was difficult because I have 4 kids at the time, and I was worried about what they were going through, how they were handling it. And a lot of times the phone call was not enough. I wanted to see their faces. That's the most difficult part, was to know that my family members were not secured and safe too. So it was difficult.
Would you say you're a big family man?
Yes, very much so. That's what keeps me going. Knowing, somebody asked me a question one day about when was the one time I was happy, and I've been satisfied. I've been content. I've been blessed. But the only time I've been happy when my children was born, and they make me happy. Knowing that I have beautiful kids, that's the best happiness in the world.
And what are their names?
Oh, we have Shanika, Everett, Tony Jr., and then Candace and Kendra. Well, Kendra passed away about 2 years ago, but they were twins. So I lost one, I still got one. But yeah, I love my kids.
So how difficult was it to like see them and see how COVID affected them?
Well, I had to stay strong so they would stay strong. So I had to practice my spiritual belief with them too. So let them know that that I wasn't worried, so they shouldn't worry. So I had to try to encourage them to stay fast and be okay.
Do they live here in Vegas?
My 2 oldest live here, and the other one lives in Texas.
Oh, so that's even farther. So
Yeah.
that must have been extremely hard not being able
Yeah,
to see them.
very much so. Yeah, she was. We FaceTime a lot because I didn't get a chance to see her in person. It was real difficult because Texas was even worse than Vegas was. So, yeah.
So you say you're a big church man, right?
Yes, very much so.
So when you would go to your groups, how would that make you feel, like during the big pandemic?
Well, the church and spiritual groups gave me the confidence to keep going on and practice my spiritual belief. It's the best thing that happened to me at a time like that.
So this isn't COVID related, but growing up, how hard was it for you?
Well, I was really blessed growing up. My father was military, so I've been over England and Germany, and I was blessed to travel and see the world all over the United States 2 or 3 times. But it was difficult because of growing up in different cultures and different countries, get to know the people and being away from home. It was difficult sometimes.
So say for during this whole pandemic, you were in one of those cities. Do you think it would be a lot different for you?
Oh, yeah, because I wouldn't have nobody, I wouldn't have the support group I have like I have in the United States. Because in the United States, I have more family members other than just my kids. If I was over there, there'd be nobody, and different language and different culture, they do things a lot different. So, yeah, it would have been a lot difficult.
So you couldn't even collect unemployment
No,
during COVID?
not at all.
Why was that?
Because when I lost the last job, it was right in the middle of my probation period. So when I lost the job because of the COVID, because the casino closed down, I had no way to collect any money because I wasn't on the job long enough.
So now skipping till now, how drastically has your life changed?
Oh, it's great now.
Like things getting back to normal?
Yeah, back to normal. We're safe. we still got to watch out. It taught us a lesson to clean our hands more. It taught us to learn how to mind our own business. Also help people that need to be helped. Unite United States into a family that we can trust each other. Through this, we can do anything.
I have one question for you, Tony. So say your future you could go back into time and tell little Tony that this pandemic was coming. What advice would you give him?
Stick to his spiritual belief. Stay safe. And mind his business. Try to stay most around the house and be safe. And trust in his belief.
And what advice would you give people today?
Some of the same things that made it through the rough times, the same thing we need to do right now when things that seem so safe. Because you understand, the COVID was something of man-made, of viruses and stuff. So just like it could happen again. So if we learn things from what we went through is try to do things different this time. Wash our hands more, be more cleaner, be aware of each other's situation, and try to give everybody at least that 6 feet. Even now, it's best to stay focused on family. It brought families together, and it tore some up, but it basically brought a lot of families together because a lot of time before then, we spend more time on the job or out and doing things. That taught us to learn more about being family oriented. It helped us be closer to our family.
So if COVID hit when you were growing up, how difficult do you think it would have been? Do you think it would have been a lot more difficult than it is today?
No, because my mother and my father were still alive back then. So it would have been a lot better because I would have had them to give me some more directions in my life. See, I believe God works through people. And the good people in your life can give you good direction. So you keep those kind of people in your life. And they plant a seed of how to live your life. If you follow that lead, you're okay.
So what are you doing now to get back into normal life again?
Well, I'm still aware of the viruses out there. I'm still aware of the 6 feet. I'm still aware of what need to be done now to keep it from happening again. So it keeps me on my P's and Q's a lot.
How focused do you think you have to be with your health?
Oh, every day.
How drastically has your health changed?
Every day. You have to be aware of because your food can be the worst thing in the world. Your diet and what you eat can cause you more harm than anything. Because the food today has got a lot of processing, a lot of chemicals in it. So you got to watch what you eat to keep you balanced.
What do you eat now?
I mostly do a fish and veggies and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to leave much grease along as I can and put a lot more green stuff in my system.
So are you scared of another deadly virus coming out?
No, because now I'm prepared.
You're more prepared now?
I'm more prepared. I learned the lesson last time, so now we got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So now I know what to do when the situation comes. Now I won't be panicking. I have some other things set up where if that happens, I got money put away. I got a place to go that's safe. I have people that I can call and get some better advice from. So it will be a lot different this time.
So when they were coming out with the vaccines, were you against it or were you with it?
I'm for the vaccine. Because you think about even as a kid, we had to get vaccination to go to school. We've been getting shots ever since we was in elementary school. So it was no different, because of the climate change and people changing and things in the air. You have to be prepared for that. Our bodies has to have all that kind of stuff, and you got to understand that God worked through people, and got doctors doing their job. Some are quacks, of course, but you got to trust that these people that put in control and direction your life are trying to do best thing for your health and theirs too.
So did you get all the shots, or did you just get a few?
Every shot that I could get, I got. I had some, and then I didn't have no bad result of the shots. Everything worked out just right. And if they had another one to come out, I'll take a look at it and see if it's If it would help me or hurt me, I would take the decision and do whatever needed to be done to survive.
So you did your research
Yeah.
before making a big decision.
Yeah. Thank God for Google. I went in there and checked on it, and then I saw the side effects and see if I can handle it. Because a lot of side effects you can't handle, and some you can. And you make that decision every day without the virus.
So did you get the Moderna or the Pfizer one?
Moderna. I can't pronounce it.
Moderna.
Yeah, that one. Yep, I got that one. I even got the last one I got to the booster. Yeah, I got all of them. Got them, all of them.
So when you were trying to get your job back at the casino, did they ever offer to bring you back?
No,
or?
no. That was low man on totem pole, and they hired back the ones that been in with years, which I understand.
But did they have to get vaccinated to work there? Because you know how a lot of companies were doing that?
I didn't even check. All I knew that he said he'll call me, and I said, okay, he'll call me before I call him. So I waited. He never called me, so I went on with my life. I found another job, and I kept on going.
Did that kind of affect you, like, a little bit?
Well, yeah, because, when people say they're going to do something, they don't do it. You try your best not to put no expectation on others, but you have to trust somebody. A lot of times they're doing, and I understand, a lot of times they're doing things that's best for them. It ain't nothing, don't take it personal. They're doing the best thing that they need to do for them first. And then they think about you, and that's normal. It's not selfish, it's personal. People's society take care of themselves first and their family, and then somewhere down the line, they say, oh yeah, what about him? Let's take care of him. But everybody going to take care of their family and friends first before they get to somebody who's not related to them. And I understand that. I would too.
So how did you keep yourself so positive during this hard time?
Prayer and trust and having some positive people in my life. I don't like negative.
What kind of mindset did you have?
Strict. Discipline. Teaching yourself how to trust yourself and trust the people closer to you. See, you pick who you pick. We need to learn to pick the people in our life to give us positive, not negative. So if you choose that person and you trust that person, you need to believe that person and listen to that person. It's like a man picking a wife. She's a soulmate. So he picked her because of her knowledge. And if you pick her, don't trust her, then why would he pick her? You pick people that's going to better enhance your life, not somebody going to pull you down. So you must get everybody in your life positive is on the same page you are.
Okay. So during COVID, did you have any friends or family members that passed?
Oh yeah, I lost a lot of folks. And the way they did it was really scary because you couldn't go to the plot where they buried them at, so you had to stand back like in the parking lot and watch them plant your child or plant your family or plant whatever into the ground. And you couldn't go there because they told you to stay away. And then a lot of people came up missing. Today there's still people missing out there that they don't know where they at, what happened. Because there's so many people dying, it's hard to keep up with.
So which death affected you the most?
Right now, this has nothing to do with COVID, but right now I still go through the death of losing my daughter 2 years ago. And I go through that every day, but the concept of believing that she's in a better place and better time keeps me support and keep going on.
If you can tell her anything right now, what would you tell her?
Oh, I love her, and I'll see her soon. Because I believe that she's in a heaven, and I believe that God's going to prepare a place for me to go too, because I'm practicing the principles of spirituality, so I know I'm going to see her soon. I may not be in the top of the penthouse, but I'll be in that house.
So would you say you're very spiritual?
I try to stay spiritual at all times. I try my best. Sometimes I fall short. I'm not perfect at it, but my whole life is about doing the right thing for the right reason. Because I know if I don't, I know the punishment of it and what happens if I don't.
So what's one thing that makes you happy?
Oh, cooking. And see a smile on people's face when I prepare a nice meal.
What's the best dish you've prepared?
Well, my favorite dish, I love to cook is spaghetti. I have an own recipe for my spaghetti, and I like watching people smile. But I have so many different things I love to cook. But spaghetti is my specialty.
So would you say cooking is your passion?
Oh yes, that's the thing I love most. Just in that kitchen, experiment with different seasons and spices. Try to keep it healthy as possible, and keep it as green and possible as you can. You know, because a lot of times we fall short, and I love chocolate. It's my addiction, so I have to try my best to stay away from those things that cause me to have my blood pressure go up. But if I'm gonna cheat on something, I cheat on something I like. That's what I'm talking about, food.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, Tony, and I appreciate your time. It's been a big pleasure.
And thank you very much. I enjoyed the whole thing. I hope somebody gets something out of this.
Me
also.
too.